Hey, what's up guys? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the NEXILI Visio 5 Go from NEXILI. All right guys, just real quick before we get into the video, if this video or any other video from my channel has helped you out and you want to show appreciation, please hit that thanks button directly underneath the video. That's going to allow you to give me and the channel a small donation that can help go towards equipment as well as new products for review and help the channel greatly. Now, this monitor comes in at right at $189, which makes it in a pretty affordable price point for a 5.5-inch display. Now, this unit has a 1080p display in terms of what you see on the screen. However, you can input up to a 4K signal through the HDMI input, and then it also has a loop output so that you can output that same 4K signal to something else, like a wireless transmitter or to another screen. Now, what you're going to get in the box with this unit is going to be the monitor itself, the arm that it sits on, and you're going to get a micro HDMI to HDMI cable. Now, before I go any further, I am going to cut over to a quick unboxing that I did of this unit. And once the unboxing is finished, we'll be back to go over the rest of this monitor. All right, welcome back. Now, one of the best features about this monitor that I want to talk about first is the fact that on the back of it, you see right here, it's a dummy MPF battery mount. And what it's going to do is pass through power from either the battery, the USB, or the standard power cord that you have going into your monitor and allow you to power something else like a wireless module or a wireless field monitor. Now, this is something different that I've not really seen on many other monitors, and it's a feature which can make this monitor extremely capable compared to anything else in its price point. If you want to put a wireless transmitter on the back of this and then shoot out to a wireless monitor that's somewhere else, not only can you see what's on your monitor here, someone else is going to be able to see what you're filming at that time, which could be big if you have multiple people who need to put input onto the project you're working on. Now, you can also use the MPF to V-mount adapter if there's anything V-mount that you want to put on here as well. Now, this 5.5-inch monitor is full touchscreen compatible. You can zoom in on the screen with pinch to zoom, which is absolutely useful if you want to see everywhere that you're focused and out of focus. And it's much better than a standard small screen you would look at any other time. On the top of the monitor, you're going to have two shortcut buttons as well as your arrow and menu keys. That way you can kind of get through the menus without having to always touch the screen. Some of the menus are a little bit faster to get through if you're using these arrow keys. Also on the screen itself, if you swipe up from the bottom, there is another row of shortcut keys that you can have down there that you have access to just by a quick swipe up. Now, in terms of other features that are built in, it has a built-in histogram, peaking. You can check for things like overexposure, false colors. It's going to have a focus assist guide with zebra. That way you can make sure what you want in focus is in focus and what you don't want in focus is out of focus. You're going to have the option to use grids and center marks. That way you can make sure you always have things lined up in your frame. And it's also got an option to show safe areas. That way you can frame in what your aspect ratio is going to be. That way you always know what is going to be in the shot that you're recording, whether it be a widescreen, full screen, whatever aspect ratio you have set. Now, one of my favorite features about this monitor is the ability to import LUTs. Now, generally when you're filming in log or C-Log, you're going to see just a flat, murky image. That's the whole point of it. And a lot of times if you don't have a monitor, you're forced to record and then put your footage on your computer and try your different LUTs to see how things come out. With this monitor, you can import the LUTs that you typically use and see how they're going to look in a live format in the shot you're shooting, to get a better idea of how your shot's going to look before you get into editing to edit your final product. Now, this could come in handy immensely because not all the time does every LUT work on what you're shooting, depending on how the light was. And that's going to give you an advantage of being able to correct some of those mistakes out in the field without having to go back out, recreate the shot, do whatever you need to do to fix it in the long run. Now, importing your own LUTs is fairly easy. You have a USB-C to USB adapter in the box. That way you can plug a standard flash drive into it and then go into the USB-C port on the monitor itself. Now, the 2 flash drives that I had, I didn't really have luck with. It would not let me import the LUTs off. However, if you have something like this little USB Type-C, now this one from SanDisk has a standard USB Type-C on one side and a standard USB on the other. This worked absolutely flawless. I was able to stick it in my computer, drop the LUTs on it, and go directly in via the USB-C, and it pulled everything off that I needed. Now, I will put a link to this one down in my description if you guys want to check it out. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, you have multiple different power options with this monitor. I'm using the Sony NPF style battery, which you can see right here on the back. You can also run a USB Type-C cable into it. That way you don't have to worry about it running dead if you're coming off of a larger power source that supports USB Type-C. You also have a 12-volt plug where you can just go right in with 12-volt DC power. So you have more than enough power options when you're out filming to not really have to worry about power. I personally prefer the NPF style batteries only because you can get them on Amazon, you know, quite cheap. I think I'm getting 2 for about $28, and I can get quite a bit of usage out of one of these larger NPF style batteries on this monitor. And if it runs dead, I just swap it out with another one, and then I am good to go after. Now, in terms of screen brightness, this has a 500 nit screen brightness, which is going to be good in most studio settings. If you go outside and it's too bright, you might have some issues depending on the angle that you have your monitor tilted at. Luckily, NEXILI does include a hood, privacy hood, that does go around it, so that if you're outside, it's going to block a lot of the sun and make it to where you can see it much better. But that is something to keep in mind with this unit if you plan to use it outside in the sun quite often. Now, one of my major use cases for this monitor is actually going to be on my top-down rig. That's one of the things that I've had the biggest issue with when I'm doing unboxings or anything else, is that when I have my Canon R5 on the rig and I try flipping out its screen, number one, the picture's upside down. Number two, I can't get the screen leveled. It's just at an angle that I can't really straighten out. So sometimes it makes getting my shot lined up properly a little bit of a hassle that I don't want to deal with. Using this monitor on my overhead rig, I'm able to use the guidelines, make sure my image is straight, see it the correct way instead of backwards, and have a much larger screen than what I would normally have had using just the R5 screen. I can keep it up there permanently. I can keep it locked on this thing whenever I need to, plug it right into the camera, and I am good to go with any of my unboxings and be able to see everything accurately. At this price point, with all of the built-in features this field monitor has, it is something I absolutely recommend you guys checking out, especially if you want to use, like I said before, some type of wireless transmitter to set up a second screen. You're not going to find a better option. Now, if you guys have any comments at all or questions, please feel free to ask down in the comment section below. If you like this review, please give it a thumbs up as it helps the channel greatly. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That way you know anytime I put out a new camera tech or technology related video. And with that being said, until next time.